Hey, what's up guys? Season 11 has been out for about 3 days now, and I wanted to go ahead and share what I think about the season so far. Obviously, these are my opinions, so these are going to be very subjective to me, and you might not share the same opinions. For some background context, I've been playing the game pretty regularly since release, but I took a break from Season 5 to 7 because I wasn't really enjoying the game at the time. I just recently hit Masters in the second split of Season 9, and both splits of Season 10. To start with, Season 11's launch is easily the best we've had in about half a year. I don't remember the other season's launches too well, but I can tell you that this is immensely better than both Season 9 and 10, in which the game was literally unplayable for the better part of a day for most people. Season 11 didn't have any of those issues as far as I'm aware, even on Xbox, which just getting the update to appear in the list is a common problem. My friends and I didn't really have any of that, so we were able to just start the game up and play once we had the update. There was a very odd problem where aim assist values for console were changed to be the PC values on every possible option. So that was kind of polarizing until they fixed it, and now everyone just has aimbot again. So happy days. So let's actually get into talking about the stuff in this season. Content wise, we got a new map, new legend, and a new gun. This is tied with Season 3 and 7 for the most content, in which we got the same amount of items. I don't know if we got anything for arenas because I don't play arenas at all. Who the fuck cares about arenas? I'll go ahead and start with the car SMG since it's the simplest to go over. The car is a returning weapon from the Titanfall series and was a staple for sweats around the globe. Notably in Titanfall 2, the car had almost no recoil and would shred everyone it touched. I personally used it the most out of any gun in the game just because I liked it the most. Before you all say I'm a car crutch, I've been using it since the first game, so suck my ass. The car in Apex is very different from its Titanfall counterpart. Most apparent is the recoil pattern. On controller, the car is almost unbearably hard to predict and get consistent beams with. The damage and fire rate are all fine, and if we were just going off of that, it would be the best SMG in the game. But because it comes with this dump truck of a recoil pattern, I think most players would be better off just sticking to the R99 if you're looking for an SMG to play with. When I start playing ranked this season, the car is unfortunately going to have to stay on the ground. Skin wise, the car got kind of shafted. I don't know what the skins are even supposed to be for most of them. They all look really weird and out of place to me. The only good one, and the one I got, is the mahogany wood one. And even that is a pretty simple looking skin for a legendary. The car skin in the bundle is cool, but I wasn't dropping $30 fucking for it. Moving on. Ash is the new legend we got this season, and I've got to say I don't think I've ever liked a new legend more than her. I'm a dirty Wraith main, and I think we all know what that means.
Here goes nothing.
So when I heard that Ash is literally just going to be Wraith on crack, I called cap. Yeah, Ash doesn't replace Wraith. Not in the slightest. Yes, I love playing Ash at the moment, and she's probably my favorite legend, but Ash isn't just going to be Wraith. In pubs maybe, but not in ranked, and certainly not in competitive. Ash's abilities are more tailored to just pushing things, as opposed to playing around them. Her tear is a pretty good escape option, but since it's one way, the enemy team can just follow you through and you have to either commit to running or fighting. Ash's tactical is also really good. It flies a little slow, but tethering someone to a 5-foot circle for 3 seconds can be very powerful in certain situations. This ability is also really great to use if you have like a cracked out fuse player on your team or a Gibby just through result. It's also really good to just deny an area. At the moment, since we're still really early in the season, people are pretty scared of walking into the tether radius. It does do 20 damage, but you can still move within the circle, so it doesn't completely prevent an angle. Throwing her tactical in the direction of somebody who is sitting behind some kind of cover is also really good, and this ties into her ultimate as well. Ash's ultimate is the thing that most people were yelling about when they said that she was going to replace Wraith. While I agree in some sense, it definitely isn't as definitive as some people might think. Her ultimate is definitely the best pushing ability in the game at the moment in my opinion. Octane's jump pad is still good, but it's also extremely loud now. And its horizontal distance nerf from the last season is definitely felt more on Stormpoint than on anywhere else. This is opposed to Ash's ultimate, which can be placed instantly at a target location, is fully invincible when being used, and is also completely silent. I'm not kidding. This thing has no fucking audio. You can place this thing literally right behind somebody, and unless they saw you place it, or they see the tiny particle effect of the tear, they will have no fucking clue that you just teleported behind them. Earlier, I said that throwing her tactical at someone who is behind some kind of cover is also really good, and that's because when you throw the tactical at somebody and tether them behind this cover, you can use her ultimate, and while you're taking that ultimate, if they get tethered, you're already there. They can't escape. So unless they're playing Ashe or Wraith, they're pretty much going to die to you unless you completely Pepega. Ashe's ultimate is the single reason that makes her the best pub character in the game, in my opinion. Most players in pubs are just uncoordinated randoms looking to have some fun, so an Ashe player who has a team to communicate with will most likely roll everyone around them, unconditionally and unapologetically. I still think when we get to World's Edge, Wraithbanes will come back simply because their zip lines are too enticing not to grind on. Ashe's passive is also really cool, but it's nothing game breaking. It just enables third parties some more, and I really don't think we'll see the crazy effect of it until we get back to World's Edge. I know in the pre-test people were saying her passive was the best thing about her, and I just don't see it. At least right now, teams are like hot dropping in specific areas. So for the most part, all of the fights that you're seeing are going to be like close to 3 minutes back. So you're gonna have to run to them anyways. So I don't see the passive being the best thing in her toolkit whatsoever. In terms of skins, Ashe got kind of blessed. All of her legendaries are really good picks for anyone who wants one. I personally went with Fallen Angel, but they are all good. Even some of the blues are nice as well. Stormpoint is easily the best looking map I've ever laid eyes on in an FPS. It is simply gorgeous, especially the southern and western portions of the map. Fighting on Stormpoint is also really enjoyable. There aren't any areas that I would say are particularly terrible. My least favorite place to fight is probably Barometer, but I've only been there on drop, so I have no knowledge of how it plays in the end game. The Prowler Den or Forbidden Zone, whatever it's called, can also get pretty rough, but there are a couple of buildings there that are actually really good to hold from opposing teams due to how awkward they are to climb. Most teams will probably use abilities to push the second floor, or just commit to taking the single way staircase that usually results in getting your shit ran. I've personally taken a liking to landing at Command Center. The loot there is pretty good and you have plenty of places to rotate when looking for fights. Combine this with Ashe and you don't really have much downtime, but it can still happen just because of the sheer size of this map. I would say that this is the only downside to the map since it's so huge. Teams that are trying to win farm at Camp Edge are going to be particularly annoying to find, and the loot is also really spaced, so some games are just a struggle bus for anything that resembles a kit. Spiders and Prowlers are cool. Titanfall has always had an emphasis on the AI forces in order to make games feel less boring by having to search for enemy players. This is still kind of true on Stormpoint, but in pubs they're kind of just third-party bait. At least that's how I treat them. Sometimes they can get mixed into a fight between you and another team, and that is when it can get pretty scary because they can actually kill you. If you find yourself in the Prowler Den while fighting multiple teams, you should probably make it your goal to just get the fuck out and find a place to not get shredded by everything in existence. Although in all honesty, these are also the fights that are the most enjoyable to me because of how chaotic they can get. Another addition that Stormpoint made were the gravity cannons. These things are pretty neat as well and are fun to mess with. The only issue I could see these things having is teams just hopping between two of them constantly, but you can't land on them after taking one, except for apparently one on the map, but even then you'll have an opportunity to get some shots on them before they take it back. One thing I found out pretty fast is that Ashe and Valkyrie can end their trip through space early by using their ultimate and jetpack respectively. Valkyrie in particular is annoying when she does this, but Winter Valkyrie is not annoying to be honest. I think now it's time to talk about the overall balance of the game. Character balance hasn't changed at all. The most significant change was to Wattson, but the buffs we got are nowhere near enough to make her viable in competitive situations. They are nice buffs, don't get me wrong, but her gen is still broken and her pylons are just roadblocks that can be solved by 2 bullets. Given if a team just apes a Wattson without thinking, they will most definitely die. And this has always been the case. Now the skill floor for Wattson's destroying dumb gorilla octanes is just a little lower. The usual meta is still meta. You're still going to see the mega sweat teams running Gibby, Caustic, Bloodhound, Octane, Wraith, and a little of Valkyrie. I've seen some really dumb posts saying that Lifeline is quote-unquote S tier and stuff like that. Honestly, just makes me want to unalive myself sometimes. Weapon meta is also unchanged. L-Star is still disgustingly unbalanced, and it will be until they take the damn barrel off of it and reduce the energy mag size. Eva still shreds anyone, and R3 Flatliner is still the kings of lasering. So yeah, those are my opening impressions of Season 11. I plan on playing this season quite a bit, in between the work I have to do for school and sleeping. I have no life. You don't have to fucking say it like that. I think I've already clocked in close to 30 or 40 hours. Eventually I'll start grinding ranked again once I've had my fill of just playing the map casually. And some of my thoughts might change along the way, but I think the most interesting period of this season will be seeing how ALGS plays on the map, but I don't know when they'll make that transition over. With that, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.